welcome to Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. Here, we believe there's a power for good in the universe, greater than we are, and we can use it. So I'd like you to just take a few moments, relax, while I do a spiritual mind treatment, a 10-minute prayer. So let's all come together in consciousness. Just take a deep breath and just join me. There is only one spirit in this room. There is only one power, one life, one light, one love, one substance, one beauty, one. So I know this, and I speak my word for each of you when I say that I am one with this power and this presence, this unlimited love. I am one with God. God's life, which is my life, which is our life, always has been, always will be. So I know that I am creative, and I use the creative ability of spirit in my life to create more good, more life, more love. I am prosperous and wealthy. I have money to share and money to spare. I accept all forms of prosperity, tangibles and intangibles. I know that money is God in action, and God is always acting in my life. I also know that who and what I am spirit expressing. As spirit is love, I am love, and I attract into my life loving people. I am lovable and loving. I am worthy. And I know that I am healthy. My body is filled with light and love and joy and energy and mobility. I am healed and whole. Yes, I accept. And finally, I release anything unlike good in my life. I embrace a divine spark, a divine urge within me which says, go forth, create more good, create more life. So I give gratitude for my perfect health, my creativity, my loving relationships. I give gratitude for Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. I know who and what I am. I enjoy life. It's all good, it's all God. So I release my word. I know it is active upon it spoken. I know it's so, and together we say, and so it is. Yes. Thank you. So we have another musical selection. Joe, take it away.
Okay. That's okay, that's not the one. This is not the group song. I'm here to tell you that when the road is filled with trouble, up the hills our pace will double. If we walk that road together, and you know, no great weight is gonna be a burden we can bear. That's for certain. If we share the road together. There's no challenge that we can't meet, whatever comes our way. So let them send that army and we'll defeat it. There's no retreat. Love can beat it, yeah. So cross that ocean and climb that mountain. Drink our share of life's full fountain. Ooh, let's do it all. Do it all together. There's no challenge that we can't meet. Whatever comes our way, so let them send an army. We'll defeat it. There's no retreat, 'cause love can beat it. Yeah. Cross that ocean, climb that mountain, drink our share of life's full fountain. Ooh, we're gonna do it all together. Or we'll take a fall together. We gotta share all the joys and the tears, banish all our fears together.
I'd like to ask Jim to come forward to light our candles. Thank you, Jim. Candles remind us of the underlying spirit of life and the divine unity of all. So we light a candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is our life now. So please affirm with me by saying, I am life. So we light a candle for love. The birth of love happens with each of us every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and we recognize our unity. We are points of love within the heart of God. So please affirm with me, I am love. We light a candle for light. The light of God is the presence and the power. We're always walking in the light. We radiate the light of God wherever we go. So please affirm with me, I am the light. And we light the candle for beauty.
Good thing I'm skinny.
Yeah. We are made in the likeness and image of God. We are each whole, complete, and beautiful just the way we are. We accept the beauty of God's perfection as our perfection now. So please affirm with me, I am beauty. We light the candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of spirit and the true essence of each of us. We celebrate the joy of our own rebirth in God consciousness. We each bring joy to the world. So please affirm with me, I am joy. And we light the candle for peace. Today and every day, we open our hearts to peace. We are each a center of peace in our world. So please affirm with me, I am peace. So finally, I invite you to take a moment to recognize your own inner light that's always shining within as we each honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Thank you, Jen. So, announcements. I have a few announcements. I want to welcome everyone, and especially anyone visiting for the first time. I see a lot of new faces. So make yourself at home and stay for fellowship. Today is birthday Sunday, so I brought a cheesecake. So after the service, please add your name if you'd like to get our emails. It's on the far table out there. Please help yourself to a welcome packet. And I want to remind you all that each Sunday we offer spiritual mind treatment, healing treatment, also known as affirmative prayer, as our gift to you. So if you have a prayer request, you can either speak to one of us, including, raise your hand if you do treatment. Yes, our practitioners, our ministers, we're here for you. Just grab us after Sunday. Did you have a question? No. You can also fill out a form on the far table. It's called treatment request box. You can put a prayer treatment request, and several of us will pray during the week. So we're still doing our unexpected income program. Is there anyone who would like to share their unexpected income demonstration? Yes, Joe.
It's a rare thing these days that someone like me, a troubadour, gets what's called a residency gig, and which is basically you're there on a regular schedule, and it's a rare thing that you get a weekly residency, because most places will only book you once a month, sometimes even only once every 6 months or once a year. But I did get a residency, and it just so happens that it's in Carlsbad. I think I talked about it the last time I was here. It's a restaurant in the Bressy Ranch area, and it's called Fish Boon. It's a sushi restaurant. So anyway, that's an extra bit of money in the pocket that I wasn't expecting, and so just wanted to know about that. And that's Saturday night, every Saturday night.
Thank you. If you're still interested in the program and you have not already signed up, we have a flyer on the table, on the guest table. So, and today again, birthday Sunday. Do we have anyone with a birthday this month? Yes. Would you like to play on birthday? Pat.
Happy birthday to you, Pat. Happy birthday to you, Pat. Happy birthday, dear Pat. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. And stay for fellowship today, and we'll enjoy Pat and her birthday. So next week I'll be speaking on the tapestry of unity. And if you want to bring your colored pencils, I'll also have some forms for doing mandalas, which talk about unity. So I want to thank all the volunteers. This is a community-based spiritual center. So I want to show a little appreciation for those behind the scenes. Flowers, Ruth Ann, with that. Greeter, Robert, thank you for greeting. Treats, Robert and I. And someone brought some other treats. Was that you, Kate? Thank you. And I want to thank Jim again for candle lighting and videography. know Jan is going to be the reader coming up here. I want to thank Kate's son Dave for setting up the chairs. So, also there is, thank you. Thank you, Dave. There is a volunteer sign-up sheet on the guest table, and if you'd like to volunteer, please feel free. Also, Jan Sherburne out there has some books for sale, and she can help you pick out the perfect book. We have some used ones, which are very inexpensive. So now it's time for our group reading. So if you want to get your program, read along with me. Excuse me. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect abundance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect abundance. So now, would you like to stand for the group song?
That's what those lyrics are for. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Friend, thank you for my friend, Spirit. Thank you for my friend. Thank you for my friend, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Healing, thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Now it is time for an inspirational reading. And I'll just invite Jana. Thank you.
Morning. Morning. I'm Jen. I'll be reading from The Creative Mind, Ernest Holmes. It's on page 61, Expanding Our Thought. All things come to us through the use of our thought. If we have a small concept of life, we will always be doing small things. First, in the creative series is the Word, but the Word carries us no further than our consciousness back of it. Unless we are constantly expanding our thought, we are not growing. Growth is the law of life, and it is necessary. We cannot stand still. If you want to do a new thing, get a new thought, and then you will have the power of attraction, which has the possibility of drawing to you the circumstances which will make for the fulfillment of your desires. Get over the old idea of limitation. Overcome all precedents and set yourself in the new order of things. If you want to build a railroad, you will never do it unless you get over the idea that the most you can hope for in life is to sell peanuts. Let the people sell peanuts for a living who think in terms of peanuts. Get out of the rut. God has created you for a glorious future. Dare to fling out into mind the greater assurances about yourself. And so it is.
Thank you, Jim.
Well, in keeping with the spirit of that reading, is a little song of mine that's called Anything. Walks the tightrope without a net below. Like a paratrooper leaves the plane, yells Geronimo, like the mate of every soldier awaits their safe return. The police that ain't holding man, there's been inspired to learn. Like the faith that moves a mountain, or the dream to which you cling. With faith like that behind you, you can do anything. Like the princess Sleeping Beauty, the princess having the frog, mother and her newborn baby, a young boy and his dog, like the sailor, and a cheetah loves the chase, pessimists love being dreary, optimists the human race, a sailor loves a steady wind, like a songbird loves to sing. Love like that behind you, you can do anything. Anything you ever wanted, anything you ever need. The limitations live in your mind. Get rid of those and you will find you surely can do anything. It might seem strange to some, like the ravings of a loon, like I'm living in some fantasy world, some weird whack cartoon. If you think that world might never be, then know that you are right. Because when you keep your blinders on, you keep that vision out of sight. Tomorrow is another day, and whatever it may bring, with a chance like that, I'm ready, not afraid of anything. close and you'll find anything you ever wanted, anything you ever need. The limitations live in your mind. Get rid of those and you'll find you surely can, you surely can, you surely can do anything.
Thank you, Joe. So creative. So, it is my great pleasure to introduce our speaker for today. Reverend Dr. Lori McMacken.
Hello, friends and family. I love this church. It's a family church, and I see a lot of my friends out here today. So thank you for coming to support CSL Carlsbad, and thank you, Kate, for allowing me to speak today. And you know what I love is that when I have a talk, something like Divine Discontent, I end up falling in love with it. And I realize that Divine Discontent is truly a spiritual practice, and if we can just embrace this in our lives, we will know that something good is about to happen to us when we have that feeling of divine discontent. Because the feeling of divine discontent is a longing. It's a spiritual longing that you might not be happy with your current situation, and you want to grow and you want to expand, and you're not quite sure how to do it. But if you go with the divine whisper or the nudge that you get from God, from Spirit, then you step right into it. But the thing is that each and every person here is an individualized expression of God, and everyone is different, and God speaks to you in only ways that you understand. And divine disconnect is not a cookie cutter. Each person's different, and your divine discontent will be different from somebody else's. Divine discontent could urge us to write that book, or open that business, or travel the world, or be of service in a greater way. There's something within us, our gifts and our talents, that we want to express out into the world. And this is the nudge, the whisper that we get from divine discontent. So when we embrace divine discontent, we know that we are on the train to good, that something better is about to happen in our life. But I don't know about you, I'm a little bit resistant to change, and so sometimes I have a little trouble, but God takes care of that. It's called the Universal Smackdown, which I'll talk about later. And you might know about that, because I know about that, and you're laughing, so I think you know about that too. So I'm going to be telling some stories about divine discontent, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to see yourself in these stories, and like, how does that relate to me? Have I ever experienced something like that similar? So when you leave today, you can take divine discontent in your life, and you can recognize it. You know, we want to recognize that the universe is always for us. It might not feel right, but it's just the universe saying, you know what, you need to go over there and not over there. You need to have this relationship. You need to go with that business. You need to quit that job, and you need to go for another job. And this is how the universe supports us in a most divine way. So once upon a time, there was a woman, and she lived in New York City. Her name was Sophia, and she was an amazing artist. And she worked all the time, and she got paid very, very well for her art. But every time she finished a masterpiece, she felt like there was something missing, you know. She felt it wasn't complete. She had this feeling of divine discontent. But then She was walking in Central Park one day and she heard this older man playing the violin. And he wasn't all that great, but there was something about his music that stirred her soul. So she went up to him and she said, I'm curious about the way you play the violin. I'm very attracted to your music. And he said, you know, I don't play for perfection. I play for the emotions that's stirring within me, and I put it out through the music. And in that moment, she's like, wow, something clicked in her. She realized that it's not her art that she was unhappy with. It was the way she was creating her art. She was creating her art to get approval from everybody, so people would buy her art. So that's why she felt empty. So from now on, she started taking the passion that was inside her, the emotions that she had, and she splashed them on the canvas. And because of divine discontent, she became one with her creative genius. So this is one way that it can work in your life. This artist, I'm sorry, I didn't change that. In our teaching, divine discontent is called the divine urge by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes. The inner desire to express life, the desire to do and accomplish more, to be more completely happy, prosperous, and well. He says it is part of the eternal progressive spirit of unfoldment. And we should surrender the entire situation to the working of intelligence, with the conviction that intelligence will use us as a perfect channel. You know, so having faith that when that one door closes, that one door is going to open. I feel it, I need to go in that direction, even though I won't have a paycheck. All of a sudden, many paychecks come. You know, the money flows in, and we don't think you're going to get it. But it's about having faith and walking one with Spirit, right? So in this story, it's about finding a higher purpose. Sometimes you realize in your life that you need to give your gifts and your talents, but you're not sure exactly how to do it, and you might feel a little divine discontent. And there was a woman, Irma, who lived in a beautiful village filled with hills all around her and the beauty of the trees and the flowers, and she lived a tranquil, peaceful life, and everyone highly respected her, and she had lots of wisdom to give. But there was something that was not right, and she felt it. She just couldn't even explain what was happening to her. Matter of fact, she would go to sleep at night, and she would toss and turn all night long. And one night, she just got up, and she walked to the hilltop, and she watched the moonlight, and just looked over the village, and she thought to herself, why am I not content? Why am I not happy? And she heard a voice inside say, this is called divine discontent. It's not here to frustrate you. It's here to awaken you. And she realized that she's been living this peaceful life, but she needs to give her gifts and her talents out to the world. So the next day, she went and walked around the villages in the neighborhood, and she noticed that there was children in the other villages that didn't have shoes. Now, her father was a cobbler, and she grew up in a little cobbler shop, and she knew she could make shoes, even though she's never done it before. So she decided to make the shoes for the children in the village, and it brought her so much joy to give this gift, to give this talent, that she didn't know that she can share on a bigger scale. And that, my friends, is another version of divine discontent. You know, during COVID-19, I was donating $25 a month to Save a Child. And then I would save a child, and that would feed a family of 5 for 1 month. That's a pretty good deal, right? So I would look at my credit card that, you know, when it came in, and I was like, $25 a month, that's not very much. I should send them more money, you know? I was like, and then I forget about it. The next month I'd get the bill, and I go, $25 a month, that's really not a whole lot of money. I should send them more money. And then another month will go by, $25, why am I not sending them more money? And I was getting the whisper, and I was getting the nudge, and then my mother passes away, right? Of COVID-19, and you know this story. So she passes away of COVID-19, and then I got the great nudge. Sit down at your desk and write them a check. So I wrote a check, and I wrote a letter about my mother passing away. This is in honor of my mother. And Rick Carlton from Save a Child called me up, and he said, You sent enough money to build a clean water well in memory of your mother. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And when I received the well, it brought me so much joy. And then what happened is Susie Sheeran passed away, a practitioner, and I donated one in her honor, but I called it the gratitude well. And on the well it says, my cup overflows with gratitude. And it brought me so much joy that I shared it with everyone. And actually Kate Mood is here right now. She put some money in my bank account before our session was over on Zoom, and she got a well for her sister. But this is a Facebook post that I wrote that it was in April of 2021 that I want to inspire 10 wells for Save a Child, okay? And I was like, whoa, 10 wells, will I ever be able to do that? So this is October of 2024, and we just sent $70,000 to India, and by the time they make all the wells, I'll have 116 wells. So, anyways, and there's many inspired donors here, and I hear we might even have another one coming forward. So it's just like I didn't know that a higher purpose was going to come through. This divine discontent that kept on whispering to me and telling me what to do. And I didn't want to do it because, the universe was bossing me around. Divine discontent is often seen as a catalyst for personal and spiritual transformation. It nudges a person out of complacency and into a space of seeking deeper meaning, wisdom, or alignment with their soul's purpose. Instead of settling for surface-level satisfaction, this restlessness encourages one to pursue inner growth. The sweetest divine discontent is when someone's looking for spiritual growth. That means they want to be closer to God. That means it's a pulling of the heart. I know studying to be a practitioner and a minister, it's not like I wanted to become this, wanted to become that, wanted to become the other. It had nothing to do with that. It was a divine discontent that God kept on calling me to learn more, to evolve more, to grow and to grow. And so when I see people on the spiritual path and they have that feeling that I want to know God more, it's just beautiful to watch that unfoldment. Now, our friend here, Eckhart Tolle, mostly everyone knows who he is. He suffered when he was younger. He truly, truly suffered. He was depressed. He had a lot of anxiety, and his life had no purpose whatsoever. But he was a scholar. He studied psychology, and he studied literacy, and he studied philosophy. And he had this inner turmoil that he just didn't know how to deal with. It was like a divine discontent. And one day he woke up and he said, I just cannot live with myself any longer. And then he had another thought like, okay, who is the I that cannot live with myself? Okay? And he actually had a spiritual transformation, for that I was that I am, that Christ consciousness, and that negativity that he was holding on from myself was separated. And he lived in this mystical Christ consciousness, for many years he kept this. And he was homeless, and he was living on a bench park. And he was just sitting there with this divine space of peace. And everyone can feel the peace and the gentleness that was coming from this, I would say, a mystic. He's a mystic of our time. And they would go up to him and he would give them spiritual counseling once they started trusting him. And then some of the ladies would invite them into their homes. They have all their friends over, and he would give talks. He would do that for a couple of years, and then I saw a YouTube video on him the other day that said, all of a sudden he had divine discontent again, right? He's sitting there and he's like, okay, I want expansion. It didn't seem like it was enough, even though he was a hermit type of person. He didn't expect to be sitting in front of Oprah a year later and had so much expansion. But what happens, this wasn't for him. This was for humanity. So sometimes when we have expansion, because we are serving the greater good of the universe, but that is another form of divine discontent. Now, there's an analogy with the oyster and the pearl and divine discontent. Because when the oyster receives like a grain of sand or a molecule that's an irritant, it seems restless and irritated, and the oyster releases a nacre, which is the mother of pearl, and it forms a beautiful jewel in the oyster. And it's almost like in our life when we're getting this divine discontent, we're feeling upset and we're not feeling, things are not right. We want to make changes and we don't know how to make the changes. Once we move through that, we have the jewel in our life. You know, something new and amazing opens up for us. I know right now that when I have divine, well, I still have to deal with that, deal with changes, but I definitely want to move towards whatever the universe is offering, because you know it's going to be good. That's for sure. It's almost like you're on a train, and you know you got to get off that train, you know, because you got to get on the next train. If you don't get off the train, you're going to be on the wrong track, and your life's going to go in the wrong direction. So that's how I almost would describe it. Okay, I was talking about the Universal Smackdown earlier. Okay, this is big stuff. It starts gently with a whisper, you know, go do this, go do that. And then it's a nudge, yes, go meet that person, go open that store, go write that book. And then those little intuitive feelings are small events that guide us toward making a change. But if we ignore these signs, the universe gets louder and more insistent, and eventually delivering a smackdown, right? A significant event or challenge that forces us to face changes that we have been avoiding. This idea reflects how sometimes life has a way of steering us toward our highest good, even if it means shaking things up and dramatically getting our attention. So, these are your choices. You have door number 1. You have the whisper, okay? You hear it. Oh no, not right now. You hear it, right? And then door number 2, you get the nudge. Come on, go do it, right? And then door number 3 is the universal smackdown. So I am going to be vulnerable, and I'm going to share with you a universal smackdown in my life. I wish we had more time because I would love to hear yours, but obviously there are some in the room, so I'm here in the last. So this was when I was young, and I really don't talk about my dance career often or anything like that, but I was a professional dancer for 20 years. And for 16 of those years, I danced with the Radio City Rockettes in New York City. And when I was in my young 20s, you know, I knew that life was kind of like a landmine. Like, you know, I told myself, don't get married and don't have kids. You're going to ruin your career. You're going to ruin everything, and don't get addicted to anything. So if anything became in front of my dancing, you know, I had to like, okay, this is not going to happen right now. My dancing was number 1 in my life. That's how bad I wanted it. But when I was young, I met this gorgeous man. I mean, gorgeous and sweet. I mean, if you didn't like Jimmy, there was something wrong with you, let me tell you. He was that kind of guy. He was a man's man. And he was traveling with me, and right away he asked me to marry him. He got me a ring and everything. He didn't even consult with me. And I told him, you know, it wasn't on my radar, this wasn't the plan, but you know, why don't we wait? When I'm 30 years old, I'll probably be done with my dancing and we can get married then. Okay. So we're together still, and around 28 years old is when I first became a Radio City Rockette. You know what that means? I got a long career ahead of me. I got 14 more years of dancing. And I turned 30, and where am I? I'm at Radio City Music Hall, okay? I'm doing 5 shows a day. The first show starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. The last show starts at 9 o'clock at night. And if you know me, I'm an eager beaver, and so when I was younger, I was even more inspired and motivated to dance. I wanted to do everything they offered. Good Morning America, Today's Show, the Macy's Day Parade, the tree lighting, whatever they had, I wanted to do. I felt like if I couldn't do it, I was missing out on life. Plus we're doing 5 shows and you're in rehearsal, and I had to do this, but I'm getting the whisper. You gotta move to California. You gotta break up with the family, because I'm also engaged to the mother, you know? She got me my silverware, she got me the stemware, she got me all my china. They own a family restaurant. They got the wedding all planned. I'm turning 30, you know? I am 30. How can they tell them this is not going to happen? I can't. I cannot tell them this is not going to happen. But I cannot live in Pennsylvania and be a hunter's wife with a deer hanging in the garage. I can't do it. I can't do either way. So one day in between shows, I go outside to get some fresh air and I grab a pretzel, one of those pretzels on the street. About a week later, it was close to Christmas, I am yellow. I am jaundiced. And I'm still thinking in my mind, I gotta tell them I'm moving to California. This is not gonna, it's terrible. And all of a sudden blood starts coming through my stool. And so I have to go see Nurse Cratchit. And Nurse Cratchit is yelling at me and I'm sick. Why didn't you come in here sooner? So anyways, I went and got tested. And what happened is I contracted hepatitis A from food poisoning from that pretzel on the street. So I went to the family restaurant, the family home in New Jersey, and I was on my knees. And not only was I on my knees sick, the universal smackdown, but I had to tell them, I'm moving, I'm leaving, I'm divorcing mom and the son and the whole family. It didn't go over really well, let me tell you. But when I moved to California, let me tell you, the doors opened for me like quickly, and I went straight to an area that I never would have gone. My life would not be what it is today if I didn't do it. And that was my universal smackdown. So this is the interesting part. People who are religious scientists, they know about Louise Hayes and the book, You Can Hear Your Life, okay? In there, now she has sold 40 million copies. And in that book, she has the problem, the cause of the problem, and then the new thought pattern to heal a problem. So I just wanted to share this with you because it's so interesting. The problem is hepatitis, okay? Because she has all these diseases in the book. The problem cause? Resistant to change. Yeah, fear, anger, but I didn't have hatred. And then the new thought pattern, my mind is cleansed and free. I leave the past and I move into the new. All is well. Yeah, pretty wild, huh? That's divine discontent. You know, it's hard to make changes, to lead people and lead situations, but you know it's always going to be for your highest good, because the universe is always for you and never against you. So I have one more story to share with you, and I shared this story when I first became a minister. And I love this lady, and I love this change, and I love the story. She's from Zimbabwe, and her name is Tererai Trent. In Zimbabwe, women at that time were not allowed to be educated. Only the boys were allowed to be educated. But she had something in her that she wanted to be educated. She wanted to go to school. So her brother, and this is her, she's right now, Dr. Tererai Trent, one of today's most internationally recognized voices for equality, education, and women's empowerment. So here it says she wasn't allowed to go to school because boys were not. But her teacher knew she was doing her brother's homework. And she was teaching herself how to read and write. And the teacher asked her, there's a little girl with all the boys, that's what school looks like there, if she could go to school. And he said yes, bring her to school. And she taught herself to read and write with her brother's school books. At 11 years old, her father marries her off in exchange for a cow to a husband that beats her because she wants to be educated. At the age of 18, she has 3 children. Boy, the odds are really against her, let me tell you. In 1991, Joe Locke, president of Heifer Foundation, went into their village, and they had a little sacred circle there. And she asked everyone, like, what are your dreams? What do you want to do with your life? You know, and Tara was a little shy. And eventually she said, yeah, I want to go to America, and I want to get my bachelor's, and I want to get my master's, and I want my doctorate degree. And Joe said to her, that is achievable. And she said, wow, like no one has ever told her that that was a possibility. So she ran home and she told her mother about this lady. She goes, this is achievable. Her mom said, you have to do it, Tara. We cannot continue to pass the baton of poverty and illiteracy. And so she said, write everything down on a piece of paper, cover it in a tin, and bury it under a rock, and it will grow. But make sure your last goal is to come back home and to build the schools for all the other girls here. A few years later, she got her GED. It took 8 years. She went to through the mail in London. And a few years later, she achieved dream number 1. She came to the United States to Oklahoma with her 5 kids and her husband, abusive husband. She did that. And then 3 years later, she accomplished dream number 2, earning a bachelor's degree in agriculture education. In 2003, Tara Trent did dream number 3, obtained her master's degree. In 2009, she obtained her doctorate. Now that is divine discontent at its best. And this is how I found out about her. She's Oprah's favorite guest. And the thing is, when I went back and did homework again, the story has expanded since the last time I talked about it. In 2012, I talked about it. They went back to Zimbabwe and they did a documentary on her, and every time she achieved one of her dreams, she went home and checked it off and put the note back underneath the rock. And there she is. Oprah has given her $1.5 million to build her school in Zimbabwe. They build, here we go. There she is telling everybody, if you have a dream, it is achievable. If she can do that, but a husband that beats her, eventually they ship the husband back to Zimbabwe, and she married another man with the last name is Trent, so she's doing good. Yeah. So this is what the new stuff that has happened with her is that the old school is on the left and they have 5 new schools on the right. And the impact made is that they have educated 40,000 children. 51% of them are women. 65 sent to college and 12 partner schools. Wow. No longer carrying the baton of illiteracy because of one person's divine discontent and continuing to gaze at that which she wants to manifest despite what is happening in her reality. Look at this. They built a bronze statue for her in New York City. It's enough to make you cry. They built 5 bronze statues of women, and she was one of them, and Oprah was another one to even off the men and the women statues in New York City. A true inspiration, Trent's motto is to know Oga, which means it is achievable. Tall and glorious, Trent's flower is a beautiful yet durable flame lily that they had at the bottom. So she had a t-shirt called To Know God. She was trying to sell her t-shirts to buy schools, and I had bought one years ago. So Eric Butterworth, he quotes, like, there's a voice whispering that you can do more, you can be more, you can make a commitment, you can break out from yourself and continue to reach out and be creative, and do not rest on the past achievements. Keep open and responsive and never let it rest. Your good is better and your better is best. So just take this divine discontent within you and realize that this is a spiritual practice. And when it's not feeling right, it's not feeling good, and you are feeling restless, just be grateful in the present moment. I'm right here, right now, and I'm grateful. And have that vision, knowing that when you follow that divine wisdom and you follow the divine whisper within, that only good and joy and loving kindness is going to follow you for the rest of your life. And so it is. Amen.
Interesting. No, I mean, it's interesting how when I pick songs and I don't know what the speaker is going to be speaking about, I pick the song and then hope that it aligns with the talk. This one does. And so I've given a name to that whisper. And I call it Soul Radio. And so I'm going to do a song called Soul Radio. And if you want to sing along, just listen to the ladies in the background doing the background vocals on this track. It's actually me singing high. It's supposed to be ladies. Tuned to the wind, just getting random frequency. Cause Dylan said there were answers growing there. A whole bunch of burning questions welled up inside of me, but I never heard an answer anywhere. So the questions went unanswered through the laughter and the tears. I figured I would solve them on my own. Then one day I heard something that was music to my ears. The mysteries were solved, I should have known. Come through the night, made everything alright. Still quiet voice, natural choice. I just tuned it in. Couldn't help but when with nothing but the truth from the broadcast booth deep inside my soul. Soul Radio, let the good times roll. This old world's so full of trouble. Sometimes it fills me up with doubt. Some days I feel 100 shades of blue. Don't even want to face the music, so I try to tune it out. But tuning in, that's the thing I ought to do. Yeah, you can learn more when you listen. The more you listen, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more doubt fades away. When it all gets all too much, it's deep inside I go. When I listen to my heart's disc jockey say, what's it say? For my morning drive, bringing me home at 5. The midnight hour, more than a million watts of power. I just turn it up. And it fills my cup with nothing but the truth from the broadcast room that's deep inside my soul. Soul Radio, as the good times roll. It's like a beam from some transmitter at a station on a mountain, across the border with no limit to its power. Soul Radio is calling out all day and through the night. It's there to serenade me in my darkest hour. It's gonna serenade me in my darkest hour. It whispers in my ears just what I need to hear. Commercial free for eternity. I just set my dial and it makes me smile. Coming through the night, making me alright. Nothing but the truth from the broadcast booth deep inside my soul. Soul Radio, let's the good times roll. Soul Radio, let's the good times roll. Here it comes. Soul Radio, listen. No stack, it's automatic. Coming through the night, making everything alright. Commercial free for eternity. Tune it in.
You definitely were up all night with the radio on.
Well,
Can you hear me now? Yeah. Anyways, thank you, Joe. It was great. So, spiritual practice, divine discontent, a new one to put in your toolbox, right? Another one is our spiritual giving. So as we give, we do receive. You know, especially this whole wealth thing, the joy of giving has been amazing. And I feel like I've received so many blessings. You just remember that what you put out, you always get back multiplied abundantly. So I thank you in advance for supporting this spiritual center. I invite you to take your gift, and you have it in your hand, and to put it over your heart. And close your eyes and go within as I recognize this one power, this one presence, this essence of love and light and beauty that's always expressing itself through all forms and through the form of love and giving and joy and beauty. And we know that finances is a sense of love. It's a sense of giving to the world in a greater way. And I'm just grateful for this generous community as they continue to have doors of opportunities open into their lives of unexpected income and glorious good. And I just release this into the world, being grateful for this community and all the gifts they give. And so it is. Amen. Please come forward.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Can you just continue to play a little bit of music for me? Yeah, thank you. So I invite you to close your eyes and go within. I do have a blessing for you. Besides blessing, I'm going to do a little treatment. So as we go within and just recognize this one power, this one presence, this essence of love and light and beauty that's always expressing itself through all and as all. And I know that I am one with this power and this presence of God. I am one with the light of God and the beauty of God. It shows up in so many amazing ways within my life. I live and move and have my beingness in spirit. Even when I live in divine discontent, even when Spirit's trying to call my name and give me a universal smackdown to put me onto the right track, I am that essence of good, evolving, growing, expanding. I know each and every person here is the light of God, the love of God, that divine beauty in full expression. And I'm so grateful that each person here has opened their heart, their mind, their soul to take this message home with them, to take this spiritual practice in their life. And when you recognize it, to move towards the whisper, move towards the nudge, move towards the universal good that's expressing itself in your life because you know it's going to be good. Giving your gifts, your talents, and your love to the world brings so much beauty and light all around us. So I can continue to see our world in peace. I continue to see our world in divine love and wholeness. No matter what is showing up in the world, I know that it is all good and it is all God in divine expression. And so I want to leave you with a little blessing. May you be blessed with perfect health, loving relationships, service that feeds your soul, and prosperity beyond your dreams. May you recognize, honor, and appreciate your gifts, talents, and skills, offering them in service with love and joy. May you live in gratitude for each and every blessing, for all that is, all that was, and all that shall be. May you be inspired in spirit to reach higher and higher levels of love, to be a channel of infinite blessing, to express God's love. May your something greater be the source of untold blessings for you and those you serve. What love has ordained can only bless. May you remember your oneness with Spirit and walk in the truth of who you are, a beloved child of the most holy, perfect, whole, and necessary. You are the light of the world. Go shine, follow your bliss, harvest and enjoy those pearls. To God be the glory, and so it is. Amen. I invite everyone to stand for the closing song. Sorry, I don't have the words. I should have the words up here.
I think they're in the program.
Oh, they're in the program. Thank you. Thank you.
Open your heart, let your love go free. Out of the ocean, right across the street. Let it flow like a river, let it fly like a dove, till your heart remembers. Can't stop love. Once you get it started, watch what it does. It'll go full circle. Can't